There we are recording. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This is Tuesday, January 5th, 2021, the new year. It's just after 7 p.m. My name is Mayor Mike Peterson, City of Cottonwood Heights. This is our business meeting for the new year, the first one for the new year. And I need to begin with reading a determination because we're meeting remotely via the internet. And I'll read that now for the record. And it states, pursuant to Utah Code annotated 52-4-2074, the city's mayor, as the chair of the city council, hereby determines that conducting the meeting of the city council on this date at an anchor location presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the anchor location. As well, recognize that a global pandemic currently exists related to the COVID-19 coronavirus, which has the potential to overwhelm Utah's healthcare system. Therefore, due to the state of emergency caused by the global pandemic, I find that conducting a meeting at an anchor location under the current state of public health emergency constitutes a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at the location. Thank you for that. And now we'll ask Councilmember Peterson, would you be willing to give us a Pledge of Allegiance?
Certainly, Mayor. I pledge allegiance to
the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Peterson, for doing that. And once again, welcome. And for the record, I need to excuse Councilor Bruce this evening, who will not be able to attend us because of health-related issues, and wish her the best for recovery. Paula, it's time for citizen comments. Do you have anyone who would like to speak to the council this evening?
Mayor?
Oh, go ahead, Tim. What did I do wrong?
Nothing. I just have, for the record, I have 2 written comments that were submitted. I want to make sure that they're in the record. One is from a Joe Ryman. I will send this to the city council. The other one is from a Lonnie Kai Egerton Goff. And so we will forward this to the council and these 2 comments, and they will be put into the public record as well.
For the record, could you tell us the subject matter of both of those?
Yeah, one was related to citizen comment. One was related to the August 2nd incident with the police, and the other one relates to, and it was actually sent to both the City Council and Planning Commission in his comments of support of the canal trail, issues related to, of concern related to the housing and PDD, and also support of the CUP request that the Planning Commission is considering tomorrow night. Those are the topics.
All right, thank you. And we'll appreciate having those sent to us and we can read them. Okay, Paula, again, anyone who has raised their hand who would like to speak to the council?
No, sir, I don't have any raised hands.
Let's wait just a minute because usually people are shy for a second. Still none?
No, sir.
All right, we'll close the citizen comment period on our agenda and move to our staff quarterly reports. First up is our police report, and we'll turn the time over to Lieutenant Dan Bartlett. Dan, we haven't heard you for a while. I haven't heard from you for a while, so welcome back and appreciate your updating us on police activity.
Thank you, and I will try to get through this lovely little Zoom thing. I'm going to share my screen with you guys and go through the stats report for December and update you on the quarterly numbers. Can you guys see that?
We can see it.
So here's the December stats report for the Cottonwood Heights Police Department. This month, we had 1,332 calls for service and 290 on-view calls. Our response times, we think we have our response times dialed in. We're feeling really good about our response times right now. And that's about what we think that they should be with our current system. And as we tweak a little bit more, we want to get them back down, in the high 4 to 5 minute range. But we're dialing it in. We're getting really close. And I think we have this new system and the way that we're doing things kind of worked out. So a couple more tweaks, and I think we're going to be right there. Our UCR, our overall crime report for the month of December, as you can see, it's 110. The thefts are up. It's that time of year, the Christmas time of the year. Our property crimes, they increase. The package thefts, the vehicle burglaries. We're not, like everyone else, we're not immune to that, and we had our fair share, even with the package thieves and vehicle burglars that we were able to scoop up this month. So,
does a package thief go under the theft or burglary?
it'll go to the theft.
Okay.
So you do see a little spike in that in December, which just happens every single year, despite our best efforts. As you can see, our arrests are up for the month of December. Again, we got into a couple of vehicle burglary rings and package thief theft rings that we were able to grab. So we had a few more arrests than normal for the month.
I'm sorry, may I interrupt? Sorry, Lieutenant.
Sure.
So I'm sure we all look at the Nextdoor website. I don't know if you guys do too, but when we see things that are happening, should we, in the abundance of caution, let you know, or are you guys monitoring that if people aren't? I assume they're letting you know, but I don't always know if they let you know. So I just.
Unfortunately, we don't always get the phone calls from people that put it on a Facebook or the Nextdoor app and let their neighbors know, hey, this person's in the area, or I saw this person, or I caught this on my home camera, and they don't call the police. We would like people to call us. If they call, we can respond right away. I get emails from the Nextdoor app and updates, a couple times a week. And if I see something, we'll get it put on, but it's not real time. It's not something I'm getting immediately. And so if someone sees something, we need them to call and let us know. Or if they have video of something they think a theft went on, we need them to call. We don't always catch it off of Nextdoor or Facebook.
So you would like me, if I see something, to respond to that person on the Nextdoor app and say, you should, please call the Cottonwood Heights Police and report.
Yes, that would be awesome. That would be huge for us.
Thanks.
That's my concern too, Dan, is some people, it's between Ring and Nextdoor and a few others. It seems like we're constantly getting alerts. And I know because UPS and FedEx, everybody is delivering now, that it's an opportunity that maybe wasn't quite as prolific as it is right now. And you guys do a great job of what you do. And hopefully between the Ring photos and the different things that we have and the information, and that's why I hope that we can get neighborhood watches a little bit more vigilant, getting to know your neighbors and helping out, because it's really becoming quite a problem.
Yeah, the month of December, I mean, the Nextdoor, the Ring, and the Facebook, I mean, they blew up with videos and pictures of people stealing packages off of porches and stuff like that. But it gives us kind of a general area. It doesn't give us an exact address. And it's hard for us to be able to go back and say, when we get it a day or two later, to be able to go back and say, if we can have that stuff in real time and people could call it in or send us that video in real time or as soon as possible, it will help us track them down. Now we were able to catch a couple package thief groups and vehicle burglar groups off of some of the video, and the Ring doorbells and people's home cameras are great and wonderful and helped us immensely. We just need the information, because putting it on, we don't monitor Nextdoor, Ring, or Facebook 24/7, and so we
You don't take crime reports off of Facebook, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we're not taking reports off of Facebook, but if people call, we could talk to a real person and get the real information. We'll certainly take that report.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. Sorry, we could actually really, that's been great about our police, but we need to, there's still probably a fairly pervasive idea, even nationwide and certainly in the valley, that if you call the police, all they're going to do is give you a case number and then go away and not do anything about it. So why bother?
We've never
and
been
that-
that.
and that's sad.
Yeah, we've never done that. Every case will get followed up. Every case will get, if we have a lead to go off of, it will go to investigations. And if we don't have a lead, but we have like video, or, something like that, someone provides us with pictures or video, we will certainly put out a bulletin. We'll run it, out to the other police departments. We'll put it out on our social media to see, does anybody recognize this person? We follow up on that stuff every single time.
We'll try to get you, Dan, get people to put you as a first call rather than a down the road type thing. But really, I think you guys do a great job of what you do. And I think the more eyes out there and the more information that we can gather, the quicker, the better.
Absolutely.
It helps to have the information in real time. So when the officers work in the area, if they need to look for, a blue van, then they're aware of that and they're not looking for it 2 days later when we get the information off, the name next door, ring. Second, there are times when the proactive efforts of the officers will yield an arrest, and the car will be loaded with golf clubs and tools and so forth. And we can't get it back to the owners because you got to take it out of the garage, and just because of the apathy you discussed, they think, oh, someone stole my stuff. I'm not even going to bother the cops. They'll never find it, and they'll just give me a case number, and we've actually stopped the person and have the property. We just don't know how to link it because no one ever called it in.
So I guess,
Robbie, I think it's a very appropriate subject for our citywide newsletter. As Christine raised the question of educating our public, the best way to report, rather than Facebook, is to call directly. But it'd be a great article in our newspaper. Christine, I'm sorry I cut you off.
no, that's fine. I think it would just be helpful if you could send out an email, Lieutenant Bartlett, to us to just let us know if we want, when we see it, what to say and what number and who. Just that information, we could just cut and paste it and stick it in next door real time, because I know I see it pretty real time, and I can be part of the solution.
Absolutely. I'll have it for you first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure with all of us, I see that periodically myself, and it's kind of interesting reading. And I'm assuming they're communicating with you directly already, and that's a wrong assumption. And I've actually seen a few compliments on next door neighbor as well, because they've said they've reported to police. So but and again, that constant reminder is always very helpful.
801-944-7100.
I'll put together an email for you guys, just kind of a little template, and I'll get it to you first thing tomorrow. As you can see, our traffic citations are up a little bit. With it being the ski season and our traffic and parking and snow, we're doing our best to educate people, and we're doing our best to get warnings out there. But there are times that we need to cite people as well. So you will see in these winter months, the citations go up a little bit for those issues. Our accidents are down, which is wonderful.
Has it snowed yet?
I'm sorry.
Has it snowed yet?
It hasn't really snowed yet. No, not that. No, we haven't seen those kind of accidents yet.
Only in District 4.
There you go. As you can see, here's our 3-month in review for calls of service. We're coming out of our busy Halloween time and into November, December, and you'll see, our thefts will go up and stuff like that. But this is about normal for us. One interesting thing is that our DUIs were down in the month of December. Not that we weren't making stops. We made a lot of stops this Christmas season. We had overtime guys on the road for the Christmas holiday and for New Year's. Our DUIs were down, which is wonderful. It's great, and we're happy about that.
Can I ask this question, because this is something that I brought up a long time ago, and with the youth council, the juvenile arrests. I'm just curious, maybe you can just do a quick look back through March of this year and see, or a little further, and see if the at-home learning type things have had any impact on any of that stuff. I don't know, but it's kind of interesting that those have been down the last 2 months so low.
Yeah, our juvenile arrests have been down so low, but it gets cold outside too, which is helpful. I mean, and we see in the summertime our juvenile arrests go up, quite a bit when kids aren't in school and the weather's warm. In the wintertime, we see them go down. But I'll pull the last year's worth of juvenile arrests for you and send it over to you and let you take a look at it.
Thanks.
Our animal control and code enforcement, as you can imagine, their animal calls go down quite a bit in the wintertime, and their parking and snow issues go up. And so you're seeing a little bit of that. The guys are pretty busy trying to get things taken care of as far as parking and some of our ordinance things that we're working on out there. So they're doing a good job. The traffic enforcement that you see is them working on parking problems, constant parking problems. Our deaths for the month of December, we had 2 unattended deaths. Our safety message for the month is winter driving. As we expect, there will be some snow and ice on the roads coming up here. And we just want everyone to be careful and slow down, and we'll get that out for everyone this season. Any questions?
Yeah, Dan, I have 3 simple questions.
Yes, sir.
The first question on dispatch times, or I should say on response times, part of the formula includes VEC's ability to dispatch. So are they where they need to be, or are they still improving as well?
They're still improving, and as they learn this system and as more agencies come on board, South Jordan just launched, Murray's about to launch. As more agencies come on board and Spillman, the call taking that's done on the Spillman side phases out, you will see it increase on the Versaterm side. We've been working with them. JD's been working with them a lot to get this dialed in. We've seen it I mean, these numbers are actually pretty good compared to what we have seen on dispatch times. So we're very thrilled with that. And I think as we continue on down the road and people become more familiar with the system, it will get better.
So Tim, do you feel that VEC is getting back on track now with the transition they've gone through?
I think they're getting back on track, but based on our last couple of board meetings, there's still a lot of improvement that needs to occur, especially in the amount of time that those that are taking the calls, the calls that are coming in and how quickly they're getting to those calls. That's still an issue that they still need to make progress on, and is still a big issue for the board.
Yeah, well, I appreciate hearing that, because response times are critical to our constituents. The other thing, Dan, I noticed that it's kind of a strange thing, but when we looked at December to December, that the number of rapes was 4 times what it was a year ago. Was that anything unique, or?
Unfortunately, right now, we have a high number of sex crimes investigations going on in the city. I couldn't tell you why. I can't tell you why, but the detectives are working on it right now, and it's just something that we're working through.
Yeah, having daughters and stuff, it concerns me, and I want to be sensitive to that. So,
well, these are not those kind of sex assaults. I mean, these are known people. So it's how do I put the offender's known to the victim. So
okay. Lastly, too, on Scott's question regarding juvenile arrest, do you sense part of that is because of high schools being online?
No, I expected the opposite when it came to the juvenile arrest, because, the kids are not in school as much as they normally would be, whether they're online or, they're out on Fridays or whatever, and idle hands. I would actually expect it to go the other way. For some reason, it stayed down. And we're pleased with that. We're very happy with that. We don't see the kids out. I mean, we see them at the office because they're across the street, but we haven't really seen them out late at night, running around like we normally do. And we've had a couple of, juvenile, like DUI, driving, alcohol issues, but none of the other vandalisms and kind of loitering things that we've dealt with in the past.
All right, thank you. Other questions of Dan from the council? Hearing none, Dan, thank you very much. And Robbie, thank you for participating as well. Appreciate your efforts, and those are good numbers. I'm glad to see the response times even get tighter. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
All right, next item on our agenda for quarter reports is a public works report and how much salt we've distributed and how many inches we shoveled. So Matt, anything else?
That should sum it up. That's about all we've done this so far. So just really briefly, Mayor and Council, thank you for allowing us to report. Just really quickly going through a few things, and then I'll have a quick slideshow to show you some of the things we've accomplished this last quarter. As far as the operations and maintenance division is concerned, we are, like you said, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, taking care of the roads and the right of way with our crack sealing, patching the roads. Just on that patching portion of it, our calls on potholes have gone way down this year. Our crews have been very good about keeping up on those things, so we're pleased with that. And we have done some snow plowing. I wouldn't say a whole lot, but we've gotten some plow time in. Our stormwater, will be bringing up one of those issues that you've with the UDOT agreement. We out cammering our pipes and doing some cleaning of storm drains. That's happening. In the engineering division this last quarter, we finalized the environmental document for the Wasatch parking lot. We are now moving forward with the selection of a consultant through that process. That is a UDOT process, so just FYI, you won't, as a council, be seeing that coming back to you, but we will take care of that through the process with UDOT. Update on the Bengal Roundabout. We had the open house on that. We are working with the LDS Church on the property. That is all but taken care of, but it's in their process now for signature. And with COVID and all that going on, their meetings have stretched out from about every other week to once a month. So we've been assured that that's ready to go. It's just sitting in the inbox of those who need the committee that needs to sign it. So that's taken care of. And then we are working with one other private property owner to finalize an agreement with them. We should be ready for the bid at the end of January, first part of February. Everything is moving along as scheduled. And if we get slowed down a little bit with the property issue, we still have the end of February to get this out to bid and still be on our schedule for summer construction. We finalized the Scottish Drive stormwater program. That was completed. We will now go out to bid for the rest of Scottish Drive at the end of this month and hopefully begin construction on that first part of April. You as a council approved that to move forward with phase 2 of the Scottish Drive project. The stormwater fee, the discussion we've had, you signed an agreement with Bowen Collins last city council meeting or 2 city council meetings ago. We will be bringing them in next council meeting to sit down and discuss with you as a council some things you'd like to see as they start preparing that program and putting that together. Excuse me. We completed the East Jordan Canal Trail project. That has been done. That goes from Fort Union on the north side of Mount View Park all the way around to the tennis courts. I'll show you some slides on that so you can see what we've accomplished there. We completed the slurry seal projects for the second year of the 5-year road maintenance plan. That's all taken care of. And we've started crack sealing for the 3rd year of the 5-year plan. And I'll show you some things on that, but the crack sealing project's going on. You approved the contract for that a little while ago. And we will also be bidding out the surface treatments in January. So those are the things that are happening there. And just to kind of show you what's going on, is everyone see this slideshow that's up?
Yep.
Okay, so as far as the quarterly reports are concerned, let's see if I can make this work. There we go. We talked about snow. This is just a comparison of what's happening. We keep track of all of our snow and salt and miles and everything that we do throughout the snow seasons, we clock them from October of one year into March of the next year. And as you can see down here, November, we had about 6 inches of snow for an event. And December, we had about 15.5 inches. Believe it or not, compared to last December, we were up a couple of inches. So, but compared to last January, where we had 36 inches of snow, obviously that was the end of the month, we are off to a pretty slow start so far. Just to give you an idea of what's happening and where we are. But you can see our salt comparisons throughout and just give you an idea of what's going on as far as our salt and snow plowing. Our 5-year road maintenance plan, we are, like I said, working on 2021. This is over on the mostly, a lot of the areas over on the East Bench, District 1. Councilmember Michael, just for your information. And also we are working over in this area, which is the Kings Hill area in those neighborhoods. So a lot of slurry seal is happening along here. You'll see that going on, and it's happening in these areas. We have approximately 3 million square feet of surface treatment we'll be putting down.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
We were driving through, I guess, Alpin Way, which is the most on the east side of Wasatch, further south,
Yeah.
westerly road, the road most westerly, if you could put your cursor on it. So the one just to the west of, Wasatch Boulevard. You're getting close, right there. That road, not to me, but to an expert in my family, seems to not be in the slurry seal category, but maybe something greater than that.
That you are not off in that. There are some roads, there's actually up in this area, over here off of Mine Shaft, we've got that prospector that we will not be putting on the slurry seal this year. And we'll have to come back, and there's a couple of them in here that we'll have to come back on to you as a council in the next cycle to put it on. Some of these are reconstruction and or a mill and overlay project. So yeah, there's a few of those that are happening in there. You're not wrong on that.
Okay, so where it shows are you still going to do the slurry seal to just try to, because I don't even.
We're going to try to avoid doing slurry seals in a lot of those areas to save some funding.
Okay.
It's throwing good money after bad on this when you start doing things like that. And
Good.
You'll see that happening when this plan is developed. Over time, things just kind of keep deteriorating. And so we try to catch up. The slurry buys us about 5 years if we can do it. Sometimes putting it down doesn't make any sense at all. And we've identified those areas.
Okay, thank you.
But the cost to do it this year is just out of the question right now. This is up on top of the world right here. Just give you an idea of the crack sealing that's going on. These are ideal roads for putting the slurry on. It may seem like a lot of cracks, but it's not quite as bad as you can see there. Scottish Drive, the stormwater. Wanted to show you a few things. This that you're looking at here is what our new standard for stormwater inlets, double hooded inlet grates. It gives you better capacity on the inlet. Allows, if you have a heavy storm, it allows some of the debris to actually pass and go down into the storm drain instead of plugging the grates. So we require this on all our new projects, and we put this down. Also, this is a waterway. Give you an idea. Previous waterways were about 2 feet wide, and they're a little deeper. They cause quite a few issues with trucks and cars going through them, but opening them up, making them about 6 feet wider, gives you a softer landing as you come into these. So this is our new standard on our waterways. So this is one of the 6-foot waterways you can see out there. So we did a few things in there. So, and then finally our East Jordan Canal Trail, to give you, this is, like I said, it runs from Fort Union behind Mount View Park on the north side to the tennis courts. This has been completed. Just a picture of it under construction. We got started, and this is the trail itself going into Mount View Park over by the tennis courts. You can see the tennis courts right over here to give you a general idea of where we are. This is the trail under construction after the asphalt's been laid. You can see they still got to do the shouldering. But this is the final trail. These were taken just recently. You can see it's opened up. It's a nice open trail. Dog stations along the trail for people to pick up their dog waste. The sign with the rules and that on there, as well as garbage cans all along the path. Just another picture of what the trail looks like. And it's getting quite a bit of use since it's been open, and we're quite pleased with it. And that is it for Public Works and Engineering and what's happening this last quarter. We've got a lot coming up this next quarter with some bids going out, and we'll be looking at spring for a lot of construction getting started, FYI. Any questions?
Hey, Matt, two quick
Yes.
questions and a comment, and then of course the council get ready. On the Ferguson Canyon overflow parking, I know you're hiring the engineer and doing some design. I question, not question, but I'm curious about the timing. I think as we look at our budget process coming up, will we be able to get that consultant on in time to give us some funding requests or understanding what we need going forward for budget impacts?
The project, I think I understand what you're asking, but Scott can probably step in. Scott Jurgis can probably step in and tell you. I believe we have our match already set aside for this project. We've been carrying it for quite a few years.
I understand that, but the fact that we want to add something to that potentially for the off-leash area, which is outside that.
That's outside of this. That would be outside of the scope of the submitted project.
Yeah, so Mayor, that's,
So we're constrained with the money that we've been allotted, the I want to say $1.4 million that's been allotted for this.
Yeah.
We're constrained to this one general area. I can't go outside of that.
Well, but Mike, I'm going to debate this a little bit then, because there's some economies that obviously can be achieved for preparation and stuff like that. I mean, what we're saying is we're doing them as two separate projects?
Yes, they are two separate projects.
Mayor, you remember the funding that we have right now, and that's what's running through the UDOT process is for that parking.
I understand that, yeah.
So what we're gonna have to do is probably work towards a design element for that park in conjunction with this project and get the design component in place for that to understand what the funding needs will be and then move forward with that as well.
Why wouldn't we do those simultaneously?
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I think we can do them simultaneously.
Again, I raised that question going into the budget process and with our demand and the prioritization of that off-leash area, that we try and look for economies and, save some money as well. My other question is maybe to you, Tim, or Matt, you may be aware of this. Have we received approval on those track funds?
Yes,
Yes.
we have both of those. We've received approval and the contracts were submitted to us. The council approved them prior to COVID, and then they both came back and we have received approval. I think I included that in the council communication.
Right. I just think it's important to mention again openly to everyone that these were two contracts that were pulled back by the county, but out of nowhere, they funded those. And it's the wayfinding for the Big Cottonwood Canyon Trail, as well as the maintenance. There was some maintenance repair on that trail, which I think is important. So,
and Mayor, just for the public's understanding, the maintenance project was around 80,000.
right.
And then the wayfinding signage was a little over 40,000. So though it was good to get those two projects, get that grant funding to us because those are important projects for us.
There's definitely a safety component on the maintenance. And then lastly, just a comment, I love the canal trail. I think that turned out just super. So I applaud
That's
Matt.
great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank
All right,
you.
any other questions of Matt going forward on Public Works?
I don't have a question for Matt. I just wanted to mention that, and some of the neighbors have asked a little bit about Crestwood Park. They're doing some changes there. There was some money there that was allocated, and
A new
our
playground.
committee, go ahead, Mayor.
It's for a new playground. Yeah.
Yeah, new playground, and it sounds like because our committee member caught one of the new people there, they're going to be able to add some to the trail coming down off of Park Ridge area. So good things happening there. We're happy that the county is doing that for us. So it's going to be an improvement.
Also, Matt, for informational purposes, the director of Salt Lake County Parks just retired at the end of December, Wayne Johnson, and he's been replaced by Patrick O'Leary. So we have a new parks director who works under Martin Jensen. Yeah. Any other questions of Matt or comments? Thank you, Matt. Good report.
Thank
Moving down the agenda, we have 2 action items. The first item is Resolution 2021-1, the first resolution of the year, approving an interlocal agreement with Utah Department of Transportation for drainage improvements connected to Wasatch Boulevard. Matt, you want to introduce that quickly?
Yes, Mayor. Like I said, really quick, I'll just share my screen. This is for an outfall line that actually comes out onto Wasatch. Is my screen up? I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay, this is a line that comes out onto Wasatch Boulevard and empties our storm drain line. It drains this neighborhood and this area. We discovered that through some flooding or some heavy rains. When we went out there, we got a call. There was a resident who had an issue with some water that was creeping close to the house. We discovered that this pipe had actually been buried through some construction. We opened it up and now it's back to flowing down on the highway where it has been in the past for the past, 40 years, I guess. And working with UDOT, though, they determined that they would like to have an agreement with us to allow us to do this work, to allow this water to go here until such time as they're able to connect it to a future storm drain that will go in when they make improvements on Wasatch, whatever that may be and whenever that may occur. So there's no fiscal note attached to this. It's a straightforward interlocal agreement. Questions? Is that?
Okay, if there's no questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2021-1. Come on, somebody make a motion.
I'll do it.
Oh, I'm sorry, just one question. So we did the work. Did they reimburse us for it? I'm just looking at the agreement. I don't see.
No, it's our pipe. We opened it back up.
But somebody covered it, whoever that
Yeah,
was.
it got covered when they were
Could it have
they
been
were
UDOT?
spreading it out. I'm
Could
sorry.
Could it have been UDOT that covered it? I mean, who else would have covered it?
I wish I knew. It could have been them when they did the intersection down there. I don't know. It was a matter of a couple of hours of our time to go out and dig out the dirt and then scratch a new ditch.
So do we need to have something in this agreement that states that if they cover it, they need to pay for it or fix it? I don't know.
I don't think we do. It's their, it's our water and our pipe. They're allowing us to let it flow out onto, their property. And there shouldn't be any more work going on until such time as they put in a storm drain line.
I understand your concerns, Chris. That was my initial one, that it should be their expense and their responsibility. But in talking to Matt and Tim, it looks like it was, who knows when and how long it's been, and it was a fairly minor improvement. But going forward, it just allows us to have that understanding that it's going to be there and that we'll maintain it until that time it's reconnected to a more formal drainage process. So
Is it?
Or like you say, moving, oh, sorry, Christine. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
So I guess the exhibit's just pointing out to that one particular location, but not anywhere else. The agreement is just at that point, or?
That is correct. It's just for that one location.
Thanks. Sorry, I was asleep at the wheel and didn't.
no,
ask
good
this.
questions. I had the same one. Doug, go ahead. Doug, you had a comment? You have to unmute yourself.
You're on mute.
Going forward, because we've been a city and we weren't, obviously we were the county for many, many years before this. Is there more accountability on things like that happen that we can keep track of better now? Or are we still going to have these problems even under our watch?
Scott, you can probably give some history to this. How many manhole covers have we found that have been covered up over the last 15 years?
Well, I know we located above 1,000, and we'd repaired and fixed at least 800 of them, but there were a lot that just things like that happen, and we've just, as we've gone along and fixed them. So
Yeah, I think we're past most of those challenges now, but there could be a few more out there and I'm not sure there's any ability to recover or there's any accountability that we could go back to the county other than just continue to work with them on other issues. Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, just now that we have a little more control over that, is that something that's easier to keep track of? That was my main question.
Yes. Yeah, we're tracking all of the work that we're doing and what we find. It's we will come up with these all over the place. We find them all the time, but most of the ones we're finding are within our right of way. We're not trying to work with another entity on it. So this just happens to be, we're emptying onto a UDOT piece of property.
But a point taken, if there was a construction project on Wasatch done by UDOT and we could identify that it impacted our drainage, I would think at that point in time, if it's current, we would hold them accountable. I think that would be common sense. And I think that was not the case here.
Yeah, it would be. And also if we already had an agreement to allow us to do that. It's one of those things. This has been, like I said, this has been going on for 40 years. And for some reason, they're requiring at this point, since we found it and we know about it, that we do an agreement. That's really what it boils down to.
And I think it's just too, when we have utilities that cut into our roads throughout our city, we'll hold those utilities accountable as well. And there's strict parameters that they have to work under. Yeah.
Correct.
I guess it's what we've inherited is what I was concerned about. We've inherited things, but now that it's kind of our game right now is that we can keep better track of that, I believe. I'm hoping.
Correct. We are.
I move that we approve. Is that something we can do now?
Yep. It's been moved by Councilmember Peterson that we approve resolution 2021-1. Do I have a second?
second.
Seconded by Councilmember Bracken. Any last comments or questions? Here none, I'd call for the vote. Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
Councilmember Bracken,
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
and I will vote yes, and we'll excuse Councilmember Bruce, who is not with us tonight. The next item on the agenda for action is Resolution 2021-2 approving appointment to the Arts Council of Carol Whitaker. Doug, you want to introduce that, or Tim? Well, Tim, it's your call, I guess. You're right.
Yeah, I'll introduce that. As I mentioned in the work session, I had the opportunity to meet with Carol Whitaker, and I'm really looking forward to recommend to you to have her be part of the Arts Council. She brings a great, very great background of arts and education, and I think she'll be a great asset to the Arts Council. So I'm recommending approval of her to the council.
Thank you. And we heard a lot about her in the work session before. Doug, any comments since you
I
are
look-
the group?
I look forward to recommending her, and I'm glad that Tim had a chance to talk to her, and I think we've got a very strong staff, and she's going to be a great member to the team.
Thank you. Hearing that, I'd entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Ms. Whitaker.
I move that we approve that appointment. I know I've known her for some years and she will be a valuable asset.
It's been moved by Councilor Bracken. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
It's been seconded by Councilor Peterson. Any comments, discussion? Here I call for the vote. Councilor Bracken,
Yes.
Councilor Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
and I will vote yes, and Councilor Bruce is excused. Okay, that's the only action items we have tonight, other than we do need to approve, I guess, the consent calendar for work session and business meeting minutes for December 15th, 2020. Entertain a motion for approval of the consent calendar.
I move that we approve, Mayor.
It's been moved by Councilmember Peterson. Do I have a second?
Second.
The second by Councilor Michael. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
More importantly, is there anyone opposed? Let the record show that it was unanimous. Okay, that's the end of our business tonight. Any final comments or questions we need to raise?
No, I had a question. There was a potential closed session mentioned on the work session. I'm assuming we do not need one.
That is correct.
Okay.
We will have one coming up sometime soon.
Well, if that's the case, then I would move that we adjourn our business meeting, and those who need to return home, return home.
It's been moved by Councilmember Bracken. We adjourned. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
I declare this meeting adjourned. Be safe. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Good
Thank you,
night.
Ever.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
Mayor,
luck.
have a good pickleball tournament.
Crush them.
Yeah.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.